What's going on YouTube? It's Rochelle Tannen. It's December 13th, 2023. It's about 3:40 in the afternoon on the East Coast. I want to jump on and do a video about the young ballerina teacher that was teaching the 10 young girls that are twerking at 5. The young lady said in her video to make it make sense, so I'm going to try to. I'm up for the challenge. Now, I really did this video because I just watched another video where Sexy Red responded to the young lady, and I find it very interesting. Now, the ballerina teacher mentioned she's 22, I'm 43, and Sexy Red, I believe, is about 25, 26. When I watch that video, my heart goes out to this young lady because she's 22, she's in college, she's just starting her life, and I could really feel her pain through the screen. And I've been there before. And you know, as a 43-year-old black woman with no children, people have always tried to smoke screen and say, if you say anything about misbehavior or anything in the last 20 years, if you don't have children, oh, well, you don't have kids, you don't know. Okay, I don't have kids, but what I do know is if I did have kids, I wouldn't play Sexy Red, Sukihana, Cardi B, no more than I'd play Little Kim around little kids. No, it doesn't surprise me that these 5-year-olds are twerking. Let's go back about 10 years. Before YouTube became so censored, and we had what I like to refer to as the twerking epidemic. Or bounce dance, or whatever they want to call it. You have all those videos of all those black girls, because I know these 10 little girls are black girls, and I know it's a community program, because if it's anything like ballet or fine arts or anything like that, it's usually a community sponsored program for black women, because black women don't like to pay for the arts. Black women don't like to pay for instruments. They don't like to pay for things like that. The community always has to do it. So I know these little girls are black. Let's go back 10 years when we had the twerk epidemic. And we have all those videos of little girls twerking in groups. And no one saw a problem with it. Or the people that did were getting shut down or criticized or called white or negative or whatever. Now, a lot of these mothers on those videos were teaching their 8-year-old, 9-year-olds how to twerk. And that was 10 years ago. So those girls will be in their latter teens now, and some of them are mothers. Because women my age, they're grandmothers. A lot of women, if you were born in 80, a lot of them, there's women younger than me that are already grandmothers. And that was when we were in our 30s. That was a few years back, in the 20 teens. So you take these older women who have failed these younger women, and this is what you get. And it didn't start with people my age. It actually started with my mother's generation, because you got these grandmothers out here that didn't raise women my age, women a little older than me, and certainly women younger than me. And all of this is starting to come to a head. Sexy Red had responded in a post, just play Poundtown and ski and shut the F up. Now, all jokes aside and whatnot, I was just thinking about Sukihana this morning. I know Sexy Red from Sukihana, and someone had told me about Sexy Red last summer because they said her lyrics were so nasty. I learned of Sukihana from Jerry Springer. I like Sukihana. She makes me laugh. But I wouldn't play Sukihana around children. And what I like about Sukihana, she's a very smart lady, and I've watched her in a lot of her interviews, and she strikes me as the type of artist like Cardi B is. When their children enter the room, they turn their music off. And I'm quite sure Sukihana's kids can read to their grade level. Most black kids in any major city can't seem to do math and reading to their grade level. And the parents that are around my age or a little younger blame the teachers for this solely. It's not just the teacher's fault. It's much like this ballerina class, the ballerina teacher. If your child doesn't come to school and take instructions so they can learn what the teacher's trying to teach, it's not going to work out. And if you as a parent don't back the teacher or structure your kid, this is what we get. But black women have forgotten that. Black women like the status of being a quote mother, but they don't like the responsibility. And the bucks are no better. And yeah, a lot of black men, that's all you are bucks. Over the years, I've heard bed wenches with black women that date outside the race and all this other stuff. But you niggas are a bunch of bucks. If you don't know your 5-year-old daughter is twerking, you ain't shit. That means you're not in your daughter's life to be the first man in her life to let her know she doesn't have to go around twerking to find a decent mate. In a functioning community, because the black community is all but functioning. Now, don't get me wrong. I know American students are at a loss right now. It seems like teachers from coast to coast are quitting. Shout out to board teachers, because I watch them a lot. And I know they need teachers. Like here in Philadelphia, they need subs like crazy, and regular teachers. I've gotten emails to come sub. I won't do it. Not because of the children particularly, and a lot of them are fresh-mouthed, but their parents. Their parents or grandparents for the women my age. I'm not going to be arguing and fighting with these people. I'm not going to be going back and forth. I guess at my age, after you hear black people tell you you're white and you're not positive and all this stuff, after a while you just don't fucking give a fuck. Now see, the ballerina teacher, you're 22, you're just starting in life. And your heart's where mine used to be. You feel so bad for these children because you know it's not their fault. But you come to the realization it ain't mine either. See, black people have an unrealistic expectation with kids. They expect people that have nothing to do with making the kids to take better care of the kids than they do. The young lady had said in her video, she had told one of the little girls to get in position and she was trying to instruct her. She told her no, and she had told her mother. Her mother said, and I know her mother's an idiot because she started the statement with clearly or basically, you know you're dealing with an idiot. If she doesn't want to do something, why do you keep telling her this and that and the third? That mother is not going to understand until it's 10 years from now. And her daughter's cursing her out and getting pregnant at 14 and 15 years old. Then it's going to be everybody else's fault, much like it is now, much like it is in my parents' generation. It isn't the drugs they did. It isn't the music they listened to, which music is, or TV and any of it, is an easy fix because you can turn the shit off. It's none of that. It's not the fact that a lot of black people don't get married anymore. And when you're married, that equals more taxes and better schools. It ain't that. It ain't that. It isn't the fact that a lot of people that are becoming the elders in the black community are a bunch of fucking crackheads and ex-drug dealers, and they get held like their Mother Teresa. It's not that. It's everything else. It's the music, it's the stars, it's the moon, it's the teachers, it's the white man. It's never going to be the mother and the father, not with the black community. No. See, I don't have children, and men, these bucks come at me like it's a diss to me that I don't, but I'm glad I never had any children by these niggas out here. Because these niggas are just as responsible as their lame ass baby mamas. Because, let me say this, I will, in defense of the bucks, most of the time they don't know if the kid's theirs or not because the women they deal with are so greasy. And this is any city USA, any ghetto USA. But if it is their kid, it's not like it matters anyway, because the next piece of skirt they're chasing is more important than knowing if their 5-year-old daughter's twerking or not. The young lady, matter of fact, it makes me think of a story that happened recently here in Philadelphia. I was riding one of their buses to take care of some business. You see the most interesting thing on the bus. There was a Latino woman teaching her daughter how to curse on the bus. She was with a black woman and a Latino man. And they're sitting there laughing and chuckling up as this 4 or 5-year-old is cursing. Then the mother goes back to her phone, and when the little girl tries to get her attention, she waves her off. But when she starts cursing again, she's bigging her up. She get it from her mama and this and that. You ignorant bitches. Don't you see what you're doing in the next 20 years? 10 years. And then it'll be everyone else's fault. Now see, mothers like that, black or otherwise, but we'll stick to women of color, I'll just say. You never have money for extracurriculars. You never have money for proper clothing, uniforms, haircuts for these little boys. But you somehow always have money for weave. Not just for you. If you got the little girls, I would love to see these little girls in this ballerina teacher's class, because I guarantee you they got some kind of weave in their hair, colorful weave in their hair. You got the money for that, but you never have the money for things that count. And money aside, your Instagram account shouldn't be more important than your kid. Parenting isn't just taking an Instagram flick. Because what you dumb fools don't realize, if you're old enough, you can see through that bullshit anyway. Parenting isn't just an Instagram flick. You're raising people. And whether you have kids or don't, these people, they impact everyone's society. But black people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that shit. They don't want to hear that shit. You know, some of the best advice I can give that young lady, the ballerina teacher, is go finish your education, get another job teaching some white girls, Asian girls, Latina girls, depending on the demographic, and some upper echelon black people. Because these hood niggas, a lot of they want it this way. And I can't even say hood niggas, because it's a collaborative effort. Because you got a lot of niggas walking around here with college degrees that co-sign a lot of this bullshit in these inner city schools and shit. Because they're getting paid behind the scene, and they know in their hearts what they're doing's wrong. The ballerina teacher had the absolute nerve to say that when she gets ready for work, she really grooms herself and puts a bow in her hair and all that stuff, and she looked like $1,000,000. Young lady, don't you know that these little girls' mothers go out in public with fucking leggings and a bonnet on their head? Not just them, their grandmothers, the bitches my age. I don't know when that became fashionable. I wear a hat, I wear a hood, but at no time will I ever be in the streets with a bonnet on my head. That's just as bad as wearing pajamas or leggings. That's why they can't appreciate your bow, because their mother takes them to ballerina class in a fucking bonnet and got the nerve to think you look nice. Have an attitude. And these young chicks, they get it from their mamas and grandmamas with this false sense of self when you women are doing the worst, as are your daughters. What other fucking woman but the black woman in America in the last 15 years taught their daughters how to twerk and was excited about it? Twerked at their schools. Twerk, 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 twerk. Now we're at a point 5-year-olds are twerking. But I bet you, and matter of fact, I don't have to bet, because the young lady touched upon that too. And I've noticed this in the streets. Why can't your 5-year-old speak? At 5, your kid shouldn't sound like a 2-year-old. Your kids should be able to comprehend. And that comes straight from the parents. Straight before your child touches a school, your child should be able to communicate. See, a lot of black women don't like me. A lot of black men don't like me because they can't sell me with the bullshit. See, this young lady, she's new, fresh to life, getting into her career, whatever she chooses. And she hasn't understood the rules of engagement yet. There's a lot of us that do. As I said earlier, it gets wearing in the black community. And there's been some of us sounding these alarms for years and years and years to be drowned out or called names or threatened or whatever with the black community. And now the shit's so out of control, I don't even think these niggas know what to do, to be honest. And it's not just this ballerina teacher, because again, I watch board teachers. And I said this years ago, I worked as a concierge, in Manayunk. It's I don't want to say suburb, but it's a very nice yuppie-ish part of attachment to Philadelphia. And there was this young, wide-eyed, very nice young Caucasian girl. I think she was from like Utah or one of those states out there, a real wholesome Midwest state. She was the sweetest girl, and I'll never forget, she hooked me up for Christmas. She had got a job fresh out of college at one of these inner city charter schools. And by her first 3-4 months, she looked so defeated. She didn't know how to get through to these people's children. And I said then to a couple people, whenever we lose young, idealistic white people, and they don't want to teach in our schools. Not even to bless student loans, because not just her. I met a few young white teachers that work in inner city schools, and you can get your student loans forgiven. It's not enough no more. It's not enough anymore, because all children have behaviors. All children do things in school that is a part of life, but the whole class shouldn't be a behavior, and there's no discipline anymore. I saw one video, you can't even tell little kids in elementary school they can't go to recess. When I was in high school, I went to 2 high schools. My high school down south, we had Saturday detention. And believe me, if you earn Saturday detention, your parents made time to bring you there. I think I had Saturday detention one time. I don't even remember what it was for. But I only had to learn once when I was a kid. You know, because all kids do things. No kids are perfect. But that's not what the fuck we're talking about. Like I said, no class, the whole class should be the fucking behavior. And then the parents don't see anything wrong with this, but they will, because I'm a child of the crack epidemic, and I watched the people my parents' age, my parents would be in their early 60s if they were living, and they don't take responsibility in the role they play to let down the women and girls born in the 70s and 80s and 90s. They want to act like that shit don't play a role. And Gen X, for that matter, latter 60s into 70s women don't want to talk about the roles they played with this. What I don't understand about black kids and black women, a lot of black women get welfare. So why aren't your kids some of the best behaved, best read, on task kids in society? You're not paying for them. And that's another thing. I'm getting sick of welfare and inner city programs. You should love your kid enough to fucking pay for your kids. But hey, like I've been told, I'm white. And I have to say, for Sexy Red, she's not my cup of tea. She can't really get my money. But it goes the same, all these, quote, entertainers. Role models start with mom and dad, not an entertainer. I would love to have children. If I ever had children, a few things. I have to have a family, a father. So to make sure once the little girls get about 5 or 6, they want to be groany and shit. He's there to whip that shit out of her. And I'm there to co-sign you in. You're not going to twerk at 5. Hell, if I had a daughter, if I catch you twerking at 5, 10, 12, whatever age, it's going to be a definite problem, because men and society should respect you for this, not your backside. And the way you look, that's important. Being well groomed, you can't help how you're shaped and all that stuff. But there's a time and place for everything. And it seems to me black women care about more being known for their behinds than they've been known for being smart, nice, mannerly, dainty, like black women were a couple generations back. And they've passed this filth and disgust down to their daughters. I've had their buck baby daddies, because I've had it with them too. I've gotten to the point, I don't date, I don't deal with these men. I'd rather never have sex again than to deal with any more black men. And I'm not putting other men on a pedestal, but too many black men don't like to raise their children. They don't take care of their women. We all know it's true, so I don't understand why niggas get upset about it. Just like the baby mamas or loose whores that care about thirsty Tuesdays and Thursdays at a fucking bar at 38, 39 years old than being home with their children. They care more about that shit. And these young mothers, a lot of them are really, I don't know what the hell they're raising. Because they do care more about Instagram and TikTok than being decent mothers raising decent people. No one makes you have children. Once you have a kid, you're no longer a kid. There's nothing else for you to do. So you better watch how you raise these adults you're raising, because that's what you're raising, adults, not kids. Now, on that note, I'm going to get ready to go. I don't want this video to run too long. I'll be back with some more videos as this year ends and we go into next year. I'll be taking more classes, but I'm going to do my best to at least do 1 or 2 videos. Guys, have a good rest of your hump day. I'm out of here.